What movie show made you think, WTF did I just watch? Sorry to bother you. That movie wasn't horsing around lol. Tusk. End of Evangelion. That Jennifer Lawrence starring film, Mother. Videodrome. Requiem for a Dream. Swiss Army Man. Oldboy, the Korean one. I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was around 12 years old, and I thought it was the silliest, dumbest, and oddest thing I had ever seen. After 13 years, I found myself as Eddie in a Shadowcast play. It was fantastic. Splice. If anyone remembers that movie. It was seriously fucked up. Kung Fu Hustle, absurd and amazing at the same time. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Watched this movie at the theater with my ex-wife back when it was first released. When the credits began to roll, we both sat there for literally 2 minutes, unable to say anything. The first thing I managed to say was okay. It's a pretty good movie, but it leaves you feeling totally weirded out, confused and disturbed. Too Many Cooks. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That ending got me so bad. I was dying laughing at how wild the movie was. Face with tears of joy rolling on the floor laughing. Annihilation with Natalie Portman. Seriously loved this movie, but it was a complete mindfuck. Eraserhead. When I turned 14, I watched Sausage Party with my mother. It felt strange. 2001: A Space Odyssey. Mulholland Drive. The Lobster. There Will Be Blood. Dark on Netflix. Still haven't finished it, but it was good and I was so confused. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Event Horizon. That one scene, if you know, you know. Absolutely Pulp Fiction the very first time. Only movie where I remember wanted to watch it again right away because I was like, WTF did I just watch? Twin Peaks. From start through all the shows, movies, and reunion. Black Mirror S2 EP for White Christmas. Tiger King. Crash, the 1996 one with James Spader. 100 Midsommar. Edit haha, thanks for the silver. The Menu, but in a good way, rolling on the floor laughing. Donnie Darko for sure. Eraserhead. David Lynch is a strange guy. A Clockwork Orange. The Kitchen Nightmares episode with Amy's Baking Company. Cloud Atlas, I watched it a few times, still not sure what happened. Naked Lunch 1991. Adventure Time. It somehow can go from having an episode from something like having a no-talking contest to pure horror the next episode. Shiny Happy People about the Duggars. Jeebus H. Macy, I knew they were odd, but holy shite. Rubber. Some kind of indie movie, I think. It's about a tire that rolls around by itself and somehow makes heads explode. I didn't realize I sat through the whole thing until credits appeared. Lars von Trier's Antichrist with Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. The Human Centipede. I have no words for this. Just WTF. Happiness. Just about the most disturbing movie I've ever seen. Hereditary. It builds and builds and builds and then it's like, holy shit, that's wild. It's also a movie that would stay with you for a few days. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal are featured in the film Prisoners. It was like WTF, but in a good way, when that movie ended, since it was such a slow-burning thriller. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Gummo. How could I not mention Beau is Afraid? That movie gave me a headache. Vivarium. Rubber. Edit Thanks for the silver. The Lighthouse. Fantastic acting, looks pretty good for a modern black and white, but leaves you a bit puzzled at the end. Brand new cherry flavor. I can't even begin to describe it. Mad God. Nothing I can say will prepare you for it. Sharp Objects. Watched it last week, and might be one of my new favorite shows. One of those shows where I had to just sit and think about what I just watched. A Serbian film. I'm still in need of therapy. Under the Skin. I'm thinking of ending things. Being John Malkovich. That food movie that ends in a drug-fueled food orgy. Fucking weird. Natural Born Killers. Uncut Gems. The Holy Mountain. Hobo with a Shotgun. My answer to any question like this is always a Serbian film. I wish I could wipe what little of it I remember from my memory, and it was a lesson learned to how absolutely perverse and morbid people can go in the name of horror. It's a reminder that sometimes people need to say no to their own artistic ideas. At least I old enough when I watched it that it didn't psychologically scar me, but it made me want to throw up and stay away from watching any movie at all for months after. Interstellar. Jacob's Ladder. Parasite. It was too close to what society is turning into. Gone Girl, but it was fantastic. Blue Velvet. Angel Heart with Lisa Bonet. Triangle of Sadness. You've Been Warned. Said I Kick. Dune, the 1984 version. I had no idea WTF was going on, but I loved it. I've since read all of the Herbert Dune books. The last book definitely got a WTF from me too. Ex Machina. It was amazing, but WTF. Lucy. Hands down. That Adventure Time episode about the food chain. The whole series is WTF did I just watch, but that episode in particular stands out. Every Black Mirror episode ever. That's why it's so good. The first time I ever watched The Room, I thought Tommy Wiseau was a massive troll. Fire Walk with Me. The Mist. That ending shocked me. Lord of the Flies. Unedited footage of a bear got me pretty good. Same with Too Many Cooks. That episode of Black Mirror when the dudes are banging in VR but they convinced themselves that they're straight. Tusk. Movie 43 great film though. Tenet. The Greasy Strangler. Westworld. 2012. An enormous waste of 3 hours. I kept thinking it would redeem itself, but it never got better. The original French version of Martyrs. The most disturbing thing I've ever seen. I need to know what the old lady heard at the end. Sorry to bother you. I knew it was going to be a semi-surreal story about capitalism and race, but when the mutant horse people with massive dongs made an appearance, my mind was blown in the totally wrong way. Black Mirror, dude has to fuck a pig in the first episode. I was one and done on that show. The Movie Men. Especially that ending. What an ending. I mean, that ending.